Bechoros Daf Lamed, just to do a quick review, we had 3 opinions regarding the case of a Bechor that got sick, and the doctor said you have to let its blood, you have to do Akazas Adam. Can you do it or not? Rabbi Yehuda says you can't do it at all, even if it dies. Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbanan say you can do whatever you want, even create a mum, because you're not intending to create a mum. The Rabbi Meir says that in between Shita, you could let its blood, but make sure you don't create a mum. The Gemara wanted to say that those 3 Shitas correspond to 3 Shitas in a different case completely. If you have a barrel of Truma wine that is a suffix if it's Tameh or not Tameh, so you have 3 similar Shitas. You have, Rebbe Eliezer says, you have to hide the barrel, make sure nothing else happens to it. That would correspond with Rebbe Meir, that says you could do bloodletting, but make sure you don't have a mum. Then you have Rabbi Yeshua, who says that you can even create Tumah, you can make sure that somebody is Metamet, you're Goyim for Tumah. That is like Rabbi Shimon and Rabbanan, that you can do any type of bloodletting you want. And then you have the Shita of Rabbi Gamliel says, don't touch it, don't fix it, don't ruin it. And that's like Rabbi Yehuda, don't do Akazas Adam. Says the Gemara, no. The 3 Shitas by Bechor, it's Machlokes and how to darish in the pasuk. And the 3 Shitas by a barrel of wine is also how to darish in the pasuk. So don't compare one case to the other case. What's the Shaila by us? The pasuk says, Va'ani hinei nosati l'chos mishmeres trumoisai. You should safeguard truma. The famous question is, do we go by aim lemikra or aim lemesiris? Is it the way we read it and pronounce it, or is it the way it is spelled? We read it trumoisai, plural. So that would also include a type of truma that we don't know for sure if it's truma, like this barrel of wine that's suffix tuma. But and that's Rebbe Eliezer, yesh aim lemikra. And Rebbe Yeshua is going to hold yesh aim lemesiris because it says trumasi. It's spelled trumasi, which is singular. The only type of truma that you have to safeguard is a truma that you know for a fact that is truma, but not a suffix truma. Says the Gemara, no, but we know for a fact that Rebbe Eliezer holds yesh aim lemesiris and not aim lemikra. How do we see that? By bevigdoi ba. Torah says that a father can no longer marry off his daughter when bevigdoi ba. So if you read it beveged ba, like Rebbe Kiva, that would mean once you marry her off with her clothing. But if you read bevagdoi ba, like Rebbe Eliezer, which is aim lemesiris, which would mean from the time he betrays her. So when he sold her off as a slave, as a shifcha, then from that point on he can't marry her. So you see that Rebbe Eliezer holds aim lemesiris, not aim lemikra. Therefore, the Gemara says another pshat. We darshan the word lecha in the pasuk. V'nei hinei nesati lecha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you truma. So Rabbi Yeshua says he gave you this truma, but other truma, the suffix truma, he didn't give to you because you can't eat it, so it's not yours. Rabbi Eliezer says it is yours because all you need is a suffix. It's not you. It's not the truma. It's you. You don't know that what this truma is or not. Wait until a Navi comes and he'll tell you whether or not it's kosher. And therefore, you have to safeguard this truma as well. We had yesterday 2 shitas in Rabbi Shimon, 2 separate halachas. One halacha was Rabbi Shimon holds, like we just mentioned before, that you are allowed to bloodlet from a bechor even if it causes a mum. Why? Because it's davar she'enu miskaven, according to Rabbi Shimon, mutar. The other shita is that after you create this mum, you don't get punished, we don't penalize you, we don't give you a knas, you could take this animal and shecht it. Says Shmuel, the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon in both cases. He says in a different place that Allah is like Reb Shimon by davar she'enu miskaven, but over here he says that Allah is like Reb Shimon that you're allowed to eat from this animal, we don't penalize you. Says the Mishnah, if a kohen that has this bechor animal wants to eat from it, there's no Beis Hamikdash, what does he do? He has to wait until there's a mum. If he doesn't want to wait and he cuts the ear, he's over Isser, can he eat it? Machlokes. According to Rabbi Eliezer, we punish him forever. He can never ever eat it, he can't sell, he can't do anything with it. The Gemara is going to discuss what about his children. According to Chachamim, he could eat it when it develops another mum. In other words, he doesn't gain anything from creating a mum. Now he just waits until there's another mum. Rabbi Eliezer, who holds that we punish him forever, that's because if we don't punish him forever, he holds that he has nothing to lose by creating a mum. If Bezin say he could eat it now, he gains, and if Ben says he can't eat it now, so he just waits for another mum, which he had to wait for anyways. So he didn't lose anything by getting a knas. Therefore, we have to punish him a very strong punishment that he can't use this animal forever. However, by the case of somebody cutting off a negatzaras, if it came off by itself, he's tar. But if he snipped it off, so Rabbi Eliezer says you don't wait forever, you just wait until another nega shows up. Over there, he's not as stringent. Why? Because over here he has a lot to lose. Because if he wouldn't cut it off, he'd just wait until it becomes tar, perhaps it would happen soon. But if he cuts it off, now he has to wait until another nega comes. Another nega might not come for many, many years, or might not come at all. He might remain tamei forever. According to Chachamim, we wait until he develops a nega on his entire body, which is very rare. And because if it develops on his entire body, that would include the nega that he removed. So therefore, at that point, he is tar, which is very stringent. Or, according to Rashi, if he removed the nega and there's no nega the size of a gris beforehand, then he is tar now. Because according to Chachamim, we punish him in the action that he took. So by a Bechor, he took action in that ear, we say that ear he can't use as a mum. Let's wait for another mum to develop. But over here, since he cut off the nega, we punish him. We say it's as if he never cut it off, and therefore he's tummy forever unless he develops a nega the size of his entire body. Now there's a big suffix here. When Rebbe Eliezer says you wait until the second nega that comes along, what happens to the first nega? Does he become tar immediately from the first nega once the second nega comes along? Or he only becomes tar from this first nega when he finishes becoming, in other words, when he becomes tar from the second nega. When he becomes tar from the second nega, he becomes tar from the first nega. What's the difference? In both cases, you have a second nega, and anyways, he's tamei because of the second nega. The answer is, if you have a chassan, or a person, or it's yantif, a chassan gets all his shever brachas, he gets free, the nega doesn't apply to him. He doesn't go to the kohen to check out the nega. So what happens if you have a chassan that had a nega, he cut it off. Then his chasana started, and then he saw a second nega. When he saw a second nega, the first nega goes away completely, according to one tzad, and the second nega doesn't go into effect at all until after his wedding, so he's completely tar. But if you say that the first nega doesn't go away completely until after the second nega goes away completely, so now he's tamei, because what's going to create, the second nega didn't even start yet, so he has to wait until the second nega starts and finishes. Only then can it become tar from the first one. And the chasana doesn't remove tuma, it only allows for the second nega to not start. And the Gemara remains in a teikum. If somebody removes thorns from his field that are already disconnected from the field, it's only Issa D'Rabbanan, we don't penalize him, Matzi Shmita, and we let him plow right away because it's a very easy job. If somebody fertilizes his field on Shemitah, we penalize him, we don't let him use the field after Shemitah, but if he dies, we don't penalize his son. If somebody cuts the ear of his animal and we penalize him according to Rebbe Eliezer forever, we don't penalize his son at the end of the sugya. Because the knas is not on the animal, the knas is on the person. Since the person died, there's no more knas. If a person sells his non-Jewish slave, that's an isser to do so because now he's mafkiyim for mitzvahs. He's not going to, if he sells him to a non-Jew, he's not going to keep the mitzvahs anymore. So we penalize him, we give him a knas that he has to retrieve his eved back, he has to pay for it up to 10 times its value. It's possible that since he removed his mitzvahs from him, he's not allowing him to do mitzvahs, maybe we gave him a knas that even his son has to redeem him 10 times the amount. If somebody purposely wants to do work on chalamayid, in other words, he makes sure that he does his wine on chalamayid, the knas is he doesn't get to use the wine at all. What about his son? It's very possible that since he actually didn't do any malacha, he was thinking about doing it, and only then we gave him a knas, maybe his son doesn't have a knas. And finally, if somebody makes his friend's truma tamei, it's considered a hezek sheni nikar, you can't physically see it, he gets penalized, but if he dies, the penalty doesn't go to his son. Have a wonderful day.